going on, guys? It's your boy Ant, GodMade32 on Instagram, and today we back with another reaction, man. And today we got something real special. So, apparently the Snyderverse is dead. So we're just here with the guys at Real Rejects to figure out exactly what's going on, man. Everything started with Grace Randolph over the weekend, so hopefully these guys got all the information accumulated so we can just all break it down together. If you like what you're seeing here, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps us way more than you know, and it helps us beat the YouTube algorithm. And without any further ado, let's get it!
But if I'm getting any shades of like FU Snyderverse in this, after Matrix Resurrections and now this, I'm just like, the drama of WB is so weird to me because it's so front and center with their films now. Yeah, you got Crimes of Grindelwald or whatever that follows. What's that one
The
called?
Secrets of Dumbledore.
Secrets of Dumbledore. Yeah, you have the Secrets of Dumbledore. The Matrix Resurrections was so apparent with their crap, and now you got the Flash movie and the Snyderverse. Like every movie studio, every film pretty much has drama that we just don't hear about. It's so freaking common, but it really seems like with Warner Brothers, their films are having so much bad press as a part of their movies that are coming out, and the only film I'm comfortable to say I'm looking forward to out of Warner Brothers is the Batman. You know, because
and Black Adam. I still got faith in Black Adam. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. Like, even that little rant he just went on is like totally right. If you guys have been watching the channel for any length of time, you guys know I'm really in the Snyderverse fandom and have really been following that story for what's going on like 6 years now. So like these new reportings are very troubling, especially with what's going on at WB, and hopefully Discovery could make some type of change to what's going on with that. But at this point, I'm not holding my breath. Back to it.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen.
We are
here today to talk about what Twitter has been loving talking about over the weekend. What a way to kick off the new year. So many positive things.
Everyone's getting their wish.
Well, if the Flash movie didn't have enough problems getting started, it's creating more problems as it's already almost done. In case you haven't heard, many scoopers have been reporting on this. This really took off after Grace Randolph put out a tweet about it. She even went trending, but there's been a lot of the scoopers who have backed this report up.
Beyond the trailers, go check out Grace Randolph, y'all.
Flash movie to erase Superman.
I like her.
Affleck and the Snyderverse in total is how it's all going to go. But we got a lot of information to climb through here. As people who are big fans of the Snyder Cut, one of the best things I've seen all year around, as people who have been championing #restore the Snyderverse, we definitely got
restore it
opinions.
You bastards.
We want to go through all the facts. So we want to go through what Grace Randolph said, what Andy Muschietti said, what Ezra Miller said.
Why they got Andy like
plot
that?
Points that were leaked as well about this. So we're going to quickly dish out all the information because all that information is very important to this conversation. Of course, give our opinions afterwards. Here's a spoiler warning because it sounds like a lot of this is true. Okay, so let's kick off with Grace Randolph. The first thing she said, as I've told you with update, The Flash, Batfleck's final appearance, old footage of Cavill used on TV, new Justice League formed, Supergirl is new Superman, Keaton working with Black Canary, picks Batgirl as new Batman. This is new DC. Let's be open-minded and give it a fair shot.
I can already hear the woke police.
Oh yeah. The Keaton Black Canary Batgirl stuff obviously happens in her movie, to clarify. Now, like I said, many people have already backed this claim. Folks like My Time to Shine Hello had many accurate leaks regarding Spider-Man No Way Home, even put this tweet out. I don't usually tweet about DC stuff, but I have a friend who have seen The Flash, and the movie will erase every movie Snyder has done. Man of Steel.
You know he meant have.
This hurts to read. Maybe Superman and Justice League never happened now. Erased from continuity, Affleck and Cavill are both gone. Now, in regards to what Andy Muschietti, the director, had to say, this movie is a bit of a hinge in the sense that it presents this stuff. What is
exactly
he
what he
sounds
like. He's Spanish.
He's Spanish, I forget what he is.
He's Italian now.
Yes. It presents a story that implies a unified universe where all the cinematic iterations that we've seen before are valid, Muschietti said. It's inclusive in the sense that it is saying that all you've seen exists, and everything that you will see exists in the same unified multiverse.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there real quick, cause like that was my whole deal. That was my whole understanding of it, because I from the beginning, when they announced the new Flash movie and they announced Andy Muschietti as the director, they went on a couple junkets to where Andy was answering a lot of questions to where that quote had came from. And once he had said that, me having the comic book knowledge I had, I quickly headcanoned away for the Snyderverse and whatever new universe Warner Brothers was going to create afterwards, because I knew they were going to do some weird stuff like that, would be able to be linked. Because we have the Flash at the end of the day, but so we'll be able to get to that universe, even if it's another point in time before that universe was to be eliminated from existence. So if that universe existed at any point in time, the Flash would be able to run not only back to the point where it existed, but across universes to get to it. So, like, that was never the problem for me. It's just like, how were they going to make it make sense to everybody who isn't steeped in the lore and the abilities of certain characters? And that was my whole thing with it from the beginning. But now they're talking about erasing it totally. I don't know how, per se, in this continuity that they will be able to erase it totally. And that's my whole thing about it. There'll always be remnants of it that we will still be able to get to if people in the future would want to access that universe and stuff. So there's always ways, and you know what I mean? With DC, the Flash is that guy.
Okay, so it sounds like it's not an entire erasure.
It seems like it's just a license not to have to acknowledge it anymore moving forward.
Yeah, right.
It still exists, so we're just not going to talk about it.
And then, of course, Ezra Miller, he was asked about this, who has actively been involved in the creative process for this movie. He was also cast by Zack Snyder originally. And someone asked him on his Instagram, I believe, fans are going crazy thinking this movie is erasing Zack's movies. They don't see the potential this movie will bring. Then Ezra said, as he was choking someone, no power or force in any known megaverse would or could ever erase Zack Snyder's mighty works. You can take that quote. Take that to the bank, to the press, to the school, to the military, and the other pillar of capitalism I'm forgetting because of that thing where if you try to think of a group of things, you always forget one of them.
Classic Miller answer.
Classic Miller answer. Like an answer without an answer.
Yeah. So a weird answer is what they're saying.
Really?
No, that's the stage of marketing, is all about the non-answer.
Yeah, he spent most of that talking about how you could take this quote and then made a bunch of references to pillars of capitalism.
A quote you're not going to want to
Classic
take. Classic
actor stuff, man. You know what I mean?
Okay, so the question
answers
is,
without
does
answering.
Does not erase the Snyderverse.
I
and from what I
understand
can
it. I
gather,
get it.
a little bit of both. Yes and no. What Flashpoint News said on Twitter was some fans have taken this as debunking yesterday's reports, and that wasn't our intent. The rumors are true. And I really trust Flash Film News. They've probably been the most reliable when it comes to anything. They're called Flash Film News for a reason, and it's their job to be as reliable as possible when it comes to this stuff. We'll establish a new DCE universe. However, this new continuity will preserve the world that Snyder built. What I'm trying to understand here, because then Paul from Heavy Spoiler...
Wait, let me hit... Ooh, they got Paul in this joint too. But, yeah, like, the way how Flash News just stated it is the way how I headcanoned it from the beginning. This is the way how I headcanoned it from the beginning. And all of this new talk was when it was solely the old guard at WB. But now they got the whole Discovery merger coming in. And from what I'm hearing, I was seeing a little bit of rumbling of Discovery also stepping in to let people know that they aren't totally going to erase what's going on at what happened in the Snyderverse. Maybe they have it in here as well. I'm not sure about that. I just seen that probably like 10 minutes before I started recording this video.
The greatest fraud in the world said sounds like it's basically going to be a Crisis on Infinite Earth's Flashpoint New 52 situation.
Exactly.
Where some dropped, whilst other elements are kept to form a new kind of DCEU.
Exactly.
And I think that is the most optimistic summary you can have about this situation.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of what comes in part and parcel with these multiverses, is that opportunity to go, what worked that people definitely want to see kept, and then what can we, fix?
Snyderverse in particular is a fandom, and the movies as a whole, the praise and love and adoration for them seems to have grown over time. I think right away for a lot of people, it wasn't an instant like for them.
Yeah.
For me, it was definitely an instant like.
To BVS in particular. I mean, you guys know how we feel about it by that point. For me personally, I think like allowing Affleck to move on, that makes sense because Ben Affleck just worries me as a human being.
Yeah, he does not look all right.
It seems like he can very emotionally be triggered, and I just want him to be okay, and he's made it pretty clear that he does not want to continue on in franchise properties, you know what I mean? With that in mind...
Real quick. I love Henry Cavill as Superman, and I really love Ben Affleck as Batman. But over the years, between what has happened in Ben Affleck's personal life and what the studio has put him through. Not only that, but what the fans have put him through, a certain demographic of the fans have put him through. I totally understand why he would want to step away from these type of movies and from the Batman character. But the selfish side of me really, really, really wants him to come back on and stay on as the DCEU's Batman. I'm not gonna lie to you, he's like literally like top 2 of my favorite Batmans, and I'm supremely interested in the Batman movie that he wanted to make with Deathstroke as the main villain. If they could find some way to turn that into a HBO Max series, I'll be on HBO Max so fast. But regardless, he's made his decisions clear, and I guess we just have to accept that as fans. But I really just don't understand what's going on with Henry Cavill, man. I loved him as Superman. He's definitively my favorite Superman, period. And it's just a travesty what WB let go on with that situation.
The way he's talked about the Flash, it seemed like, yeah, I just want to move on, and this was my way of saying bye to Batman.
Even though it sucks,
just make it clear,
so
this is
bad.
me saying bye. The part that seems like the most upsetting is Superman being removed.
Exactly.
Like I feel like a lot of us have been wanting that follow-up to Man of Steel.
Look how cold that picture is.
It doesn't sound like they're going to give Henry Cavill a chance to even say bye, based off of everything that's been being reported on or leaked. They're at least giving Ben Affleck a chance to say bye, but it doesn't even sound like they're giving Henry Cavill a chance to say bye.
Yeah, you never know. That Shazam 2 cameo could still happen.
Yeah, you never know, man.
That's the send-off we'd want.
And then with Henry Cavill's like popularity really growing as of late, not just in regards to the Snyderverse fandom, but like the work that he's been doing on Witcher, I think it would be really silly.
Beyond really silly. Stupid is the word that you was looking for.
Especially him being the one to be removed. My faith in Warner Brothers restoring the Snyderverse has slowly gone down over the months. It's gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't believe it's going to happen. I will of course support the possibility of it happening if it ever goes trending. I'm of course retweeting it. If you ask me, do I want it to happen? Absolutely. Do I believe Warner Brothers is going to give in and do it? I don't.
I really don't think so. Discovery got to come through.
Far away from that as they can.
Right. So the DC fandom, funny enough, that's a very little event. It's created quite a divide. You know, like there are people us who are in this weird dichotomy, Snyderverse all the way. And I was excited for this Flash movie, and I'm still very intrigued to find out how this all plays out. I really want to know what's going to happen. How are they going to execute this? Can they execute this in a way, like, I know there's going to be fans right away of the Snyderverse who are instantly going to write this off, not be open-minded. Even if they try to be, they just won't be able to be. There's going to be those people out there. There's going to be people like us who are like,
real quick, in my soul, I really want to rage quit. In my soul, I really do. You feel me? Or in my heart, I really do. That's what I'm gonna rephrase. In my heart, I really want to rage quit. And just be like, all right, I'm done with DC. I'm done with DC as long as Warner Brothers got DC. But in my soul, I'm a DC fan. And Batman's my favorite superhero. And Superman was the first superhero. And Wonder Woman is like the best female superhero. And like, the Flash is like amazing, and like, you know what I mean, it really just goes down the line like that. And I really do love everything that they got going on with Marvel and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I am a fan of that as well. But like, from the beginning of me as a person, I've always been watching something DC, and it's always been like catching me more than whatever was going on at Marvel at that time. So, you know, I'm gonna watch this shit begrudgingly.
Let's find out. Let's see. Maybe we can get on. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Maybe.
Each time they roll the dice, some parts are good and some parts are not so good, so you never know.
Well, it's funny because when you look at what Spider-Man has done, spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home, sort of. When you look at what they've done, a big part of what's been great how they brought back a couple of people. It's allowed for a semblance of closure, but it's also kind of reflective of what happened with the Snyder fan base and how they want another Andrew Garfield movie to happen, because like you give them something, now they want more, right?
Yeah.
And
at least the Ayer cut.
And hey, I'm part of that too. I want the Ayer cut. I want the Amazing Spider-Man 3, and I want them to restore the Snyderverse. What I think though, what Marvel has done is they've done a great job at establishing multiverse to the point where it's like, well, I can totally see how we can keep the Tom Holland franchise alive and do an Andrew Garfield one. And I think they're a prime example of how we can have that coexist. And you think that with doing this multiverse Flash movie, that they can create a scenario where both can exist and not feel like, hey, this timeline's not erased, but we're definitely not diving into it
never
anymore.
gonna see it again.
Despite the fact that there are a lot of you who really want that to continue.
And despite the fact that we're building this new arm on parts of that old one that are going to automatically remind the people who were there for that of those movies.
It's like we're always going to have that feeling of something is not complete, something is incomplete, and it seems like there's going to just be this constant stain in the DC universe.
All right, but on a brighter note, huh? If we have that stain of something isn't right, I feel like the only problem to what I'm about to say to you guys is that humans age. And that's the only part about this that's like gonna like throw a wrench into it, if anything, because like Ben Affleck is already on the older side, and Henry Cavill, even though he looks amazing himself, is getting up there, and like you could easily let those characters rest and have that sense of unrest in the new universe that you're building right now, and have that sense of something's wrong. Even with Michael Keaton being there, let him and the Flash be a linchpin into figuring out what happened. It could be a where is Batman and Superman situation that goes on for like 3 movies, and then we go into the end credit scenes or the last or a scene in all of the connecting movies could be how do we get back Batman and Superman into this new universe. And I feel like that would be an amazing like cross film arc for this universe to have, of getting back to normalcy and finding a way, a new path. But I guess this Flash movie that's coming up is Warner Brothers' way of trying to find some normalcy and stuff. But I'm just thinking outside of the box into when it comes to creating a narrative. Now they're creating a narrative into how Batman and Superman goes missing. Barry Allen goes back in time, trying to save his mom. Even though I don't know that if that's what's going on, but I know that's what happens in Flashpoint. And I could easily see how that goes wrong, and he brings over all of these new people. Now, he knows in the back of his head, because he was so close to that Batman, and that Batman is who brought him into the superhero game with everybody else. Him and Michael Keaton could be going on a mission for the next 2 Flash films on finding out how could we get that back. But like not taking over the film, but like a scene or a post-credit scene, something happening in the next movie to figuring out how could we get back that, or where is Bruce Wayne, where is Clark Kent type scenario. And I would like that going forward. But again, I feel like that's wishful thinking. I think that's me being over positive, knowing what Warner Brothers have done over the past several years. You know,
that we won't be able to truly move past for such a long time.
Yeah, and this solution also, to me, feels very similar to what they tried to do with Justice League, where it's like, oh, Marvel's having all this success with the multiverse. And yes, this Flash movie has been in the works for a little while. They've, obviously caught on to the multiverse stories in the zeitgeist, but it feels like another attempt to basically catch up without actually doing the foundational work. And, like all new characters leading the Justice League aside, it seems like this is another sort of finicky move from the Warner Brothers DC camp. It doesn't feel like a confident new direction based on some mistakes made before. It feels like, we got to rework this, and multiverses are in, so we can use that as our in to getting what we want, but it doesn't sound very finessed.
And like, exactly what John just said is how I feel about like Warner Brothers, like the upper crust at Warner Brothers. Like, they're super reactionary, And I know that it's been a troubled studio for years, but it has some of the IP that I really, really like. And like, they're super reactionary. They don't do anything to like try new things. And even when you have an amazing director doing good things and making a serious amount of money, as the Snyderverse movies did, don't let anybody fool you. If you go back and check the first three the Snyderverse movies, including Batman versus Superman, they all made a lot of money. Superman made over $600 million. Batman versus Superman made over $800 million. Justice League is the only one that I could really say like quote unquote flop, but that made a boatload of money. Not the amount of money that they should have made, but it made enough. Even the original Suicide Squad made way more than they thought it was gonna make. So
at the moment, it doesn't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, we'll see. You just gotta watch it and then judge it afterwards. But it's unfortunate because you got this new lineup of a Justice League that's supposed to be formed. Now, David F. Sandberg, he's been out there being like, I actually haven't heard anything about Shazam being in the new Justice League. The idea, it sounds like, is that the new Batgirl is supposed to be the replacement for the new Batman, and like Michael Keaton's going to hand off the baton to her. Yeah. And then that makes me go, why are you debuting her solo? I don't remember if it's a show or movie now, but why are you debuting her on HBO Max? Justice League is cinema. You should be more confident. And it's like a lot of people go, it's because you're trying to drive users to the service. I get that, but especially with the way HBO Max is, it just feels like a downgrade. If you're going to debut this massive character who's supposed to be the replacement for Batman on this small screen.
It feels like another ploy to get people to sign up because, I don't know, that's the biggest thing we hear about these days. Disney didn't get the numbers they want. HBO didn't get the numbers they want. And what, generates the content is subscriptions.
And then you have also with the new Supergirl, and it just seems like they're not being allowed the proper opportunity to be introduced to form the new Justice.
Quickly, we just got the first Justice League with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Those characters didn't even get a chance to go off and have adventures from that movie yet. We had a Wonder Woman 2 that was set in the past. We had a Aquaman film that was set directly after, well, I would say Aquaman is the only one that was playing in present times and stuff. But like, yeah, nobody really got a chance to do things. No real character development. And then we go directly into a Flash film to establish a new Justice League. And these are the things that's very upsetting. Like, these are the things that make people feel like it's rushed. Like, these are the things that you're taking, like, amazing IP and just doing whatever with it and, like, not even putting any type of thought into it or, like, having too much pride to, like, listen to what everybody else is trying to tell you. You bastards.
There's already so much baggage happening and already so much criticism going their way that I don't feel like they're going to be given a fair shot to be introduced as the new Justice League.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's just unfair to them as actors and characters.
It's cast an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
especially in light of the public defense and outcry and everything surrounding the Snyderverse.
And it's not even feeling like much of a Flash-focused movie at this point, which is the weirdest part.
No,
not even the trailer felt like a Flash-focused movie.
It feels like a big apparatus to get their universe back on track that happens to feature the Flash prominently.
As always, I say wait to find out. However, where do I stand now with this? It sounds like shit. Like,
skeptical.
What really sucks about all this is not, when we say Snyderverse, it's not only encompassing erasing BVS, Man of Steel, and events of Wonder Woman, it sounds like too. I believe it's also supposed to be erasing the events of Suicide Squad. David Ayers, I can kind of understand, even though I want the Ayer cut, which I'm sure would be a very different response from me. But James Gunn's The Suicide Squad I thought was brilliant, and the fact of how much they've also been like, James Gunn, yeah, we're going to be working with him more in the future. Like, how does James Gunn feel about this?
Yeah.
How does Margot Robbie feel about this? And she's been such a staple for the DCEU as well.
To one of their most successful parts.
Her character alone and her interpretation has been instantly iconic. Are you erasing her now? Like, what exactly is this gonna? So it's they'll be keeping some and not keeping others, because it's like that's the whole thing when you rewrite a timeline is other things can be kept while others are messed with. I get that. They have another Aquaman movie coming out, so they got to have some idea of what they're doing. Yeah, I don't know.
Do they though?
There are things I'm absolutely looking forward to with this film. I like the teaser trailer did excite me. There's no bullshitting that. The teaser trailer excited the hell out of me. I'm excited to see Michael Keaton again. But if I'm getting any shades of like F.U. Snyderverse in this, after Matrix Resurrections and this, I'm just like the drama of WB is so weird to me because it's so front and center with their films now. Yeah, you got Crimes of Grindelwald or whatever that follows. What's that one called?
The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Secrets of Dumbledore. Yeah, you have the Secrets of Dumbledore. The Matrix Resurrections was so apparent with their crap, and now you got the Flash movie and the Snyderverse. Like every movie studio, every film pretty much has drama that we just don't hear about. It's freaking common, but it really seems like with Warner Brothers, their films are having so much bad press as a part of their movies that are coming out, and the only film I'm comfortable to say I'm looking forward to out of Warner Brothers is the goddamn Batman. Because that
exists
it has
on an
nothing to do with any of it.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but Matt Reeves is just such a confident and assured filmmaker, and I think that movie just has the luxury of existing in a pocket. Yeah, unless you're a solo Batman property, it's going to be choppy water, because I think they're just not good at putting out a version or a vision of these movies, their plan that actually feels like a confident plan.
Erase is probably not the right word.
Just
rewrite,
shoving it over there to collect dust forever.
Yeah, retooling until 10 years from now, some filmmaker comes out of the woodwork and goes, "We're gonna bring back the Snyderverse.
Yeah, we're gonna make a sequel directly to Zack Snyder's Justice League. Ignore all these other installments."
All right, guys, what do you think about this news? Had a lot of thoughts about this. I know we're pretty late to it, but leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe, click that bell, hit that like button. We will catch you guys soon.
But yeah, guys, it's a very turbulent time right now if you're a DC fan. It's a very turbulent time right now if you were any type of Zack Snyder fan. And everything is just really up in the air. The only thing that we could really look to with any form of consistency is the MCU right now. So if you're a fan of both, at least you have that one to look forward to. But if you're not, and you're just a DC fan, you just got to do what he just said, man. The only thing we can really look forward to is the Batman. And I'm saying the Black Adam movie as well, because I really believe in what The Rock is doing. And I do think that he's gonna take pride in the film that he's making and try to make something that everybody wants. And he already talked about keeping that darker tone and aesthetic that was there in the Snyderverse. So I think that would lean tight. I think that would lean closer to what we would. I think that would lean closer to what we would want to see. As far as everything else, man, it's just really up in the air. Wonder Woman is really up in the air, even though I still love the character. Gal Gadot is amazing. But that last film and what Patty Jenkins done with that last film, or what the mandates that Warner Brothers had set for that film, that was just too much. I think the fan reaction and the box office from that film let everybody know that was way too much. And yeah, we have to have a yin and yang, man. Marvel was already bubbly and poppy. We already took a direction. You should have just tweaked those things in that direction instead of retooling the entire universe. But I'm just a fan. What do I know? I'm not spending millions of dollars on these movies. But yeah, guys, jump down in the comments and let me know what you think, man. Were you a fan of the original Snyderverse? If so, what about it did you love? And what do you think about all of this new information, man? What do you think about what's going on with the Flash movie? Did you predict it? And do you have any faith that the Snyderverse will be restored at any point in the future? Jump down in the comments and let me know. Please remember to like and subscribe. And if you want to be notified when we upload new videos, go ahead and click that little bell icon. Thank you.